Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the January 23rd, 2024 Community Services Committee meeting to order. Grimsby is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Haudenosaunee, the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara and Grimsby stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Okay, seeing none, we'll move along. Can I get an approval of agenda? Can I get a mover and a seconder to approve the agenda? Okay, moved by Councillor DeFlavio, seconded by Councillor Howe. Moving to item 5. Oh, yes, sorry. Resolved that the January 23rd, 2024 Community Services Committee agenda be approved. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Item number 5, receipt of the previous minutes. Can I get a seconder, because I will be asking to lift a few items. Can I see that, Katie? First item being the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee of November 28th, and the age-friendly minutes of January 23rd. Can I get a seconder for those to discuss? Okay, and seconded by Member Bennett.
And then I think Councillor DeFlavio for your age-friendly minutes.
And Councillor DeFlavio seconded the age-friendly. And
She's the mover.
I'm the mover, yes. And can I get a mover and seconder for the remaining items? Okay, moved by Member Breather, seconded by Councillor Howe. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Okay, so I just wanted to first talk about the Mayor's Youth Advisory Committee. Just very impressed with, it looked like they're really coming along as far as giving input in the Peach King Arena. That's great. And are you getting a few more people on board as well? The committee? Yes, please, Director Sweeney.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I think it has been off to a great start. Really keen group of people. I was a part of the one conversation that they had about the Peach King and really interested and gave some really great feedback. So we're really excited about what their contributions are going to be. And it is still open. So they are still seeking some additional members to kind of balance out that group, but off to a strong start.
Oh, that was great. Just wanted to find out more about that. And the second item had to do with the age-friendly minutes. So I think there was mention about a survey that was being done for the age-friendly committee. And the survey, it looked as though they were basically using Let's Talk Grimsby to get that data. And I don't know if there was any discussion at the meeting, but I think there should be an alternate way of getting information because all the seniors are not necessarily using Age Talk Grimsby. So I just wanted to know what else we can use to make sure we reach as many seniors as we can.
So through you, Chair, so Let's Talk Grimsby will really just sort of be the base of the information, right? So it'll be the holder of the project. The survey will be facilitated through the survey tool that's on Let's Talk Grimsby, but they will go after some robust ways to gathering data, including in my information report, it mentions a senior symposium that's coming up. So they'll have it there. So they will be doing a variety of things to promote it online. They will and do like social media, website, but also newspaper ads, in person, actually at the LAC. So they will be doing a variety of ways to really promote it, but funneling the survey data largely through Let's Talk Grimsby. That said, all of our Let's Talk surveys always have a print function, so if somebody preferred an alternate format, we can always make that available as well.
That's great, thank you. All right, we have a delegation from Sarah from Edit It here this evening to give a presentation on the Peach King's book. Sarah, if you can please come to the podium.
It's already on? You can hear me?
Okay, hello, everybody. Thanks for letting me be here tonight. I just wanted to tell you about a project I've been working on. So in the fall of 2021, I was asked by one of the Peach King owners to put a book together commemorating their 100-year history, 1922 to 2022. So upon finishing this work and the writing and everything, I was to come out last season, like opening season, and then we're hoping for last Christmas. And anyway, long story short, I've gone ahead and I'm publishing it myself because I felt like it was going to go by the wayside and how hard I worked on this and what it is for our community. Like, I'm born and raised in Grimsby. I'm getting nervous now because it's, I'm passionate about this project and it's just been a long time coming. So I went ahead with the help of Marilyn Owen and Al Owen and their support just to go ahead and publish it myself to make it available for our community. So I'm days away from it being in my hand. And I'm here today just to ask for permission to sell it at the arena and maybe some support with just kind of getting the word out that this book is available for our community because it's part of the Peach King's history and also our town's history. And yeah, I just wanted to share that information with you and ask for those permissions and that support. So if you have any questions or comments or anything.
Does anyone have any questions? Councillor Flavio?
Thank you, through you, Chair. I thank you for putting the book together. It's, you know, the amount of work that it must have taken is incredible, and I know that there's a rich history. It's through you, Chair, to Sarah. Like, I'm in favor of it. We don't have any policies that would prevent that or anything like that, do we? That would prevent the book from being sold at the library? And then maybe we can, you know, reach out to the library or other places that it could be sold in town that.
There are limited quantities.
Okay.
So to have like, kind of just like a one spot, I think would be great too, because then everybody knows where to go and like for the circulation of it. But, you know, the library does know, I've done a lot of work there too with the research of the book and everything, but the arena is like the best place to be, right? And when there's like minor hockey things or events at the library or events at the museum, other community events where it would be relevant to be at, yeah, that would be great to be involved in that kind of stuff, so. I did look in your permits department though, there was something about, I forget what it's called, about like selling something in public, you know, so I tried to get into that, but they put me through to the arena reception, but I've just been having a hard time getting in touch with the right people. But now I'm here tonight.
Director Sweeney, if you want to go ahead.
So maybe just a question for clarification so I understand. Are you requesting us to sell it or are you requesting space to sell it?
Space.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's what I thought.
The table
Yeah.
used to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can certainly look into it. I mean, I think I'd have to double check that there aren't any specific rules around it. We'd have to check with our clerk's team to make sure it's fine, but I'm sure there's ways that it could at minimum be promoted, right?
Yeah. Yeah, with minor hockey going on and the Peach King games and things, you know, those would be the perfect time and place to be able to sell the book.
Yeah, okay.
I'd also suggest if you post it, because I think you're in Grimsby Community Talk, right? So put it in there and we'll post it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Jennifer
support
did
this as well.
share something last week about it, which I really appreciated, because I tried to make some posts about it, but I had a delay just before Christmas. I was hoping to get it out before the holiday, so I was like, it's coming, but then, you know, some delays happened, and it's coming out any day now. I still just don't know what day, so it's kind of just been an interesting project for sure.
Okay,
But
when you
we're
get
almost-
it, I would suggest you repost it with the link so that people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I think this is great.
definitely,
And you've been here for a long time too, so
Yeah,
you've
my
got.
whole life.
Yeah, exactly. So you know
Yeah.
all this, so
Yeah.
that's great. I think
Yeah.
it's fabulous that you're doing this. and-
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a passion project for sure. Yeah.
Okay, do we have any more questions? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you. Can I get a mover and a seconder to receive the presentation? Okay, moved by Member Breather and seconded by Councillor Howe. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Moving to item 7, consent reports, we do not have any. Item 8, discussion reports. We have a report outlining the January Community Services Department update. Can I get a mover and a seconder to put it on the floor for discussion? Okay, moved by Member Bennett, seconded by Member Laird. And Director Sweeney, if you could just get us started.
Sorry, 1 second. My computer didn't agree. Maybe I will just look off of yours. Thank you. So a short one this time, just a couple updates. So the outdoor rink is open. Not too much going on this evening with the rain, but it did open on January the 7th. Actually, probably the latest opening of the outdoor rink we've ever had, just due to the really warm weather that we saw in December. But it has been open now, and it's gotten quite a bit of use, which is great. Our spring and summer programming is well underway, so just sharing the dates with you there as to when the new guide will come out and also when registration will start, which is in March. So staff have been working away at that. The Tearaway Map Project is something that we are doing once again. Also working with a few GDAC members and others as well to get that updated. The maps has a full refresh, so we fully redesigned the front page of the map, which is good. It was really overdue. And we'll be able to leverage that asset in some different ways as well with different promotions, so really happy to do that. And then the back side of the map will be focusing on places of interest in the community where people can visit. We will be distributing the maps in a variety of locations similar to what we did in the past, so they come in like a tearaway, like sort of glue backing, right, of 50. So we'll send them to the hotels, various different locations that may wish to have them, and then have them at the Peach King Center as well. So excited to have that piece underway. Probably will be printed and done. We're aiming for March, maybe even February. Casablanca Waterfront Park is progressing well. Have gotten some great feedback recently about people starting to see some of the amenities take shape and become in place. I know there's a lot of excitement around having that playground used, which is good. And just a little update with the 2 Billion Trees project, that while we weren't successful with that initial ask in partnership with NPCA, we are still working with them quite a bit in terms of resubmitting when the opportunity arises, and then also working with NPCA for some other tree planting initiatives as well. We have several neighborhood park pathways that have been installed since our last meeting. They were done towards the end of the season, and then a few of them will be done once the weather is warmer. And then to conclude, just sharing a few upcoming events that are happening. The Grimsby Museum has an event on February the 1st, a really exciting exhibit for them that is getting into AI, so really interesting. Encourage you to check that out. I've heard a little bit about it, and I think it's pretty unique for the museum to have, so that should be a really great one if you're able to attend. We will be having some family day events at the Peach King Center. Seniors Information and Active Living Fair, which I mentioned briefly when I was speaking as well. And then also an age-friendly conference that's coming up. So some good stuff coming out of our age-friendly group as well. And happy to answer any questions.
Councillor Howe?
Thank you, Chair. Sarah, the 2 billion trees, is that just floated out there? Yes. Was that floated out there by someone who was just looking for some...
Oh.
Stay on. There we go. It was tanked on us or pulled or when we were feeling confident that it was going to be a go. Did they get a sense that it's going to be any closer to reality this year, or?
So through the chair, our first application wasn't successful, but I think they did receive some really good feedback. There's a variety of different ways we can access and leverage that funding that's available. So there is a good feeling among the group that there is still some really good opportunity to be able to get access to those tree rates. So that's kind of what we're pursuing and looking at what is the best avenue. Maybe it is a little different than how we originally applied.
So I was hoping that in the part where with the tearaway maps that we could start making it a thing where we're also bringing them to the library, because I know the library, we're really trying to connect the library and the Peach King Arena because they tend to be like the community hubs. So anytime we're kind of bringing information, if we can leave that for, because it's also a different group of people, and we also want them to be using the recreational services. So if you can just keep that in your mind anytime you're leaving information, just to kind of connect the two. Okay. All right, any other questions? No? Okay. Okay, resolve that report DCS 2404, Community Services Department Information Update for January 2024, dated January 23rd, 2024, be received for information. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. We have a report on the civic recognition policy update. Can I get a mover and a seconder to put it on the floor for discussion? Moved by Councillor DeFlavio, seconded by Councillor Howe. Director Sweeney, can you start on this?
Thank you, Chair. So some time ago, there was some information shared with council about civic recognition, and coming out of that conversation was the need to update the policy, and that's what we are looking to do this evening. We did want to update the policy to add a little bit more content around some of the categories, and hopefully be able to see that program continue. We did create a bit of a scoring matrix, which was one of the conversation items as well. We did keep it fairly simple still, because we do want to make sure there's really good access to the program. The one thing I would just comment on before I hear feedback from others is we really want to make sure we balance recognizing those really, really outstanding, unique individuals with contributions, and also those individuals that just volunteer a lot in the community but really bring value as well. So trying to make sure we really fill the room full of people that are really deserving and worthy, and they might be at different stages in their journey in some ways with where they are. Maybe they have volunteered all their life, and then maybe some of them are still kind of midway through a bit of that experience. So trying to just make sure we capture as much as possible, and also hear some of the feedback that we had heard. So looking for any feedback from this group in terms of the policy update, and then once we do get the policy finished and updated, we would put it back out and take another intake. There was some nominations we received in the meantime, but I think ideally we would then just have them resubmit based upon the new criteria, just so everything's kind of clean and tidy.
Okay, resolve that report DCS 2405, civic recognition. Oh, sorry, Councillor Howe. Go ahead.
Through you, Chair. Sarah, and this sounds ticky-tack and sounds like I'm looking for whatever. A couple of times in here, we mentioned the civic recognition program provides an opportunity for the mayor and members of council to celebrate and acknowledge. It's really nothing to do with us. It has to do with the town. Okay, we're the functionaries, we're the workers, but wherever it says that, to me, it should say town, or town of Grimsby, because it's the whole ball of wax. It's all of us, not just a couple of us up here. So that's just a thought on that one, if I can. On the matrix, we talked about publicity. And I guess I have a bit of a problem with that, because in this day and age, it seems like a lot of people can do a lot of hyping, so it's something that we're going to have to be careful of. Is it, little Donnie, mom, if she was still alive, might, call in somebody and say, well, gee, he did this, can you give him a I wish there was another word. I haven't come up with it, but just, for publicity, no, that they bring awareness of the town. They bring pride to the town. Certainly a recognition of, or a celebration of what they have done by the town. In this day and age, I have a problem with that publicity. So, thank you.
Councillor DeFlavio?
I hate to be a stickler, but achievement is spelt wrong a couple of times on the matrix too, so so that rubric, if I was marking with it, it would be it happens, but I just wanted, but like you can see the first two achievements are spelled one way and the third one's spelled the correct way, so just typo that needs to be fixed, that's all.
Yeah, there's the editor, yes. Leave it to Councillor DeFlavio too, right? The teacher concept. Okay, any other questions? No, okay. Resolve that report DCS 2405, Civic Recognition Policy Update dated January 23rd, 2024, be received for information, and that the committee recommend that council approve the civic recognition policy. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Correspondence. We have a memorandum from the Director of Community Services regarding the tree canopy standards for the Peach King Center parking lot. Can I get a mover and a seconder to put this on the floor for discussion? Moved by Councillor DeFlavio, seconded by Member Laird. And Sarah?
Yes, so thank you. So at the last Grimsby Green meeting, there was a motion that was put forward by the committee that would get endorsed by council, but of course the meeting minutes come through this committee requesting that a tree canopy standard be developed. And it did focus a bit around the Peach King Center redevelopment project and using it specifically. I think staff in general support the idea of a tree canopy standard in a parking lot and the notion of planting more trees on site. The challenge for us is that this project, the Peach King Center project, is too far along to pull back and make modifications to the parking lot now without significantly impacting schedule and potentially even budget. So we are asking that an alternate resolution be considered to ask that work be deferred sort of in its most general sense, and that it not specifically require the Peach King Center to address that standard. That would still even need to be developed, right? Like there'd be a significant amount of time just to develop the standard. And it just, with our intention to be shovel-ready in April with the Peach King Center, we just would not be able to do that with the timeline and the schedule that we have, and again, the budget implications. So we do have that concern with that motion that was put forward. But again, the work in principle of looking at those types of things, supportive of that for sure, and also very supportive of looking at how else can we plant trees on the Peach King Center town hall site as a whole. So I think there's some of the general intentions that are behind that we can still support, but just the way, not in the way specifically it's written without some significant impacts.
Any questions from the committee? Councillor DeFlavio?
I think, through you, Chair, I think there's a middle ground. Like, I understand the purpose of what they're looking for, and if it's impossible to get it into the project, I think we do need to respond to it though, and say, you're saying that, and I think it's important that we respond to it and say how we're going to solve that problem, whether it's planting on other sites, like in the green space, like the space that is closer to the road, perhaps, or other places where planting trees is not it's not cost prohibitive and doesn't have the same impact as changing design, because putting a tree in a field is different than putting a tree in a parking lot and the drainage that's required and all those other things. You're talking about tens of thousands of dollars per tree that you're adding besides the change in the design, the drainage and all the other things. There's no point in putting trees in a design, just plopping them in there that are going to die. They need to be designed properly, and that design change is a significant one. So I kind of wish we had done it in the first place, that we had. There are some trees in the design, but it is a lot of parking. So let's do our best to make sure that we find other places to put those trees in the canopy to replace ones that we're taking down. I'm still in favor of keeping the large ones on the berm. I know that it's impossible to do, but if we can find a way to relocate them instead of cutting them down, that would also be a win, I think. So I don't know if you want to respond to that, or if it's just something you want to take with you and think about how we can approach that. But I think it's important that we do address their concerns and find a solution that is, a middle ground that doesn't cost X number of dollars on top of what we're already spending on the project. So.
Director Sweeney?
Yeah, and I agree, right? So we're certainly happy to look at how else we do tree planting, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be specifically a part of the construction project. That's something we can do in other ways, and even looking at other partnerships and other funding resources as well. So there's lots of opportunities, I think, to look at that. Preserving the trees on the berm, point well taken, because we are looking to not realign the roadway over there now. I think that we can leave a lot of those trees as much as possible. We're looking at, as you said, keeping the mature ones as much as we can. It's just the redesign piece of the parking lot, as I said, at this point that's challenging. So happy to work with the committee's suggestions, and I know our team is also looking at where can we plant more trees as we go along. So I agree with you. We can definitely look at it. It doesn't need to be, not looking at the trees at all. It's just looking at it in a different way with the timeline where we are at with this project.
Since nobody else has their hand up, I just wanted to add, I agree as well. I don't want the project to be stalled. I want it to progress, and hopefully we can take these suggestions forward into other projects. And one of the concerns from the report had to do with the cars and providing shade for the cars. And Peach King Arena is mainly, it's winter is when parking is really an issue, and that's when a lot of the cars are parked there. So it's really not even a summer issue per se, but I would like as much as we can in order to make up for those trees, replanting for sure, making that a priority. Councillor DeFlavia?
Thank you, Chair, through you. And honestly, if you look at the design, there are more trees in the design than there currently are, I think, in the Peach King parking lot. There's actually spaces, there's little green spaces in between parking spots, whereas now it's just parking after parking after parking. So there is some addition to green space in the design that came forward to the committee previously. Other things we can look at is planting more mature trees rather than really young trees in those spots so that they have a greater impact. It might be moving trees from other locations instead of losing those trees. Whatever we can do to keep that cost down, but find a solution. And I trust that you're going to do that. So, but when you look at the design, there are significantly more trees already than there are in the current design. So even though it's a bigger parking lot, there's also more green space in the new design. So.
Okay, any other questions before I move on? Nope. Whereas council and staff support the general intent of parking lot tree canopy standards, and whereas the Peach King Center project would require substantial changes to the original design to accommodate tree canopy standards at this time, therefore be it resolved that this matter be deferred for future consideration. All in favor? Okay, and that's carried. Other business. I just wanted to, if we can use this time for announcements as well. Does anybody else, before I go, have any announcements? No? Okay, I just wanted to briefly just go over CD Saturday. and I was asked to talk about this. CD Saturday is Saturday, February 10th at 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. It's being held at the Grimsby Public Library. It's a free public event with a focus on heritage seeds, organic gardening, native plants, and environmental concerns. Get stocked up for gardening in 2024 with seeds from commercial vendors, a seed exchange table, and seed libraries. We'll also have tables throughout the library with other interesting vendors and nonprofit organizations. Enjoy hot drinks and snacks provided by Station 1 Coffee House. And there are some featured guest speakers as well, speaking on a variety of topics with gardening. You can find more information online on the Grimsby Public Library. And this event is thanks to a partnership between the Lincoln Pelham Public Library, the Grimsby Public Library, and the West Lincoln Public Library. So again, this is happening on Saturday, February 10th at the Grimsby Public Library. Okay, so hopefully lots of people can attend. It sounded like a great event when they were talking about it at our last library meeting. Okay, so the next Community Services Committee meeting is scheduled for February 27th, 2024 at 6:30. So that is all. Good evening, everyone, and the meeting is adjourned. Oh, geez, here we go.
I want to wish our chair a happy birthday. You're serving tonight on your birthday, so happy birthday, and many, many more.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, now we can say it's adjourned. Thanks.